Welcome to Brother Owl's Garden. I'm Brian, and I honor your presence here today. Today, I would like to talk about love. Love in the sense of a partnership through life, a companion to walk beside you through this journey of life. Whether it be your spouse or your fiance, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, whoever is your beloved. So I would like to address the angle of love from the perspective of what is required for us to love. In other words, what do we have to do before we are able to love? Because I don't believe that we choose who we love. I believe love tells us who it's bringing into our life. Love tells you. I don't think you choose who you love. Love tells you. And you're either ready or you're not. And sometimes we may have an opportunity to love someone magnificent in our life, better than we even imagined, but we might not have our house in order. We may still have not done our shadow work or, transcended enough things within ourselves to really be fully present and willing and able to love fully and adequately. So let's talk about some of these things, and they apply to both people in the relationship equally, of course. The first one is that you must accept and love and welcome who you are as you are. And you have to know who you are. It requires a great depth of self-knowledge. What resonates with you? What doesn't? What is your life plan? What trajectory are you aiming for with your life? And what is compatible with you and what is absolutely unacceptable? What are you about? What makes you tick? You have to know who you are. And bumps, dents, and all, you have to accept and welcome and love your perfectly imperfect self just the way you are. And now, direct that towards your potential partner. You must do the same for them, and they must do the same for you. To understand you, at least to the very best of their capacity, to understand you, and you must do the same for them. Understand them. Welcome each other as you each are, without any latent agenda to change each other at some future date. After the wedding, I'm gonna work on him. I'm gonna get him. No, you're not. And it's kind of unfair for a person to say, I'll accept you as a fixer-upper. I'm gonna work on you later. I'll fix you up. This is rather selfish, or it's a little bit audacious, but it's also kind of like planting landmines ahead of your road of love. It's not a good idea to do it. The second thing is that you both must be willing to be vulnerable. You must both be willing to be vulnerable. Now, maybe in some past relationship you were hurt, and whether unwittingly or deliberately, you may have, as we say, built walls around yourself. You may have padded yourself in some way to be protected from pain and hurt and heartbreak as a result. Well, in building this fortress of protection around yourself, you have entombed yourself. You've imprisoned yourself. You've cut yourself off from the organic, dynamic flow of love, the give and take, offer and receive of love. And if you are still within that prison, holed up in that tomb of safety where you're gradually, incrementally dying each day, you can't love. And also, it's very unfair to place another person in a situation where they have to try to be in a relationship with someone who has self-imprisoned. So you have to be willing to be vulnerable, both of you. Having said that, you are assured of being hurt. And you are also assured of hurting your partner. It's guaranteed, inevitable. You just have to accept that that's what comes with the package. There's no way out of it. We're not perfect. We make mistakes, we goof up. Sometimes we're selfish, sometimes we're blind, sometimes we're just too overwhelmed. Whatever is the reason, we mess up, and sometimes it hurts. So it's important that the two of you have trust as a rock solid foundation for understanding, processing, and healing when wounds occur. I cannot overemphasize the sanctity of trust, and it is absolutely sacred. And without it, there will be no relationship. Not at all. No relationship can survive without it. People say, all you need is love. No, you need a little bit more than that, because love without trust is not going to last. You need trust. I would even say that trust comes first. So never, under any circumstances, betray your trust to another, to a person with whom you are in an intimate relationship, someone who loves you. Your life companion. Do not ever betray that person's trust, because once trust is broken, it's like a balloon's been popped. It'll never be the same again. Even if somehow miraculously you're somehow able to heal it enough to be functional again, it'll never be the same again. So uphold the trust, the sanctity of trust in your relationship, both of you. You must do this, or it will not last. The other thing to keep in mind with relationships is that the fruit of true love is very sweet and abundant, and it is adorned with a garland of blessings around it. The blessings of a true loving relationship built on trust and unconditional acceptance, it's just so beautiful. But there's another side of it that we have to accept, and that is that the price of great love is great pain. Now, I'm not saying constantly pain, but at some point or points there's going to be tremendous pain, especially if trust is broken, because there's no way to love somebody over any period of time without some hurt happening, even if it might just be that person dies or something to that effect. The price of great love is great pain. If you have never experienced it during the relationship, and then your partner transitions on into the next, leaves their body, then you're going to know what I mean. I am speaking from experience, so I can say resolutely that this is true. So, of course, there are the divine fruits of love, and they're abundant, they're ubiquitous, they're many, they're worth it. But the gift of love, the reward of love is love. So all of those others are just, extra bonus benefits. But you have to keep in mind that the price of great love is great pain. It just comes with the package. When dealing with the dynamics of a relationship in context of making decisions together, neither person should ever feel that they are losing themselves, giving themselves up to the other person. In other words, capitulating, sacrificing themselves to the other person. And I'm speaking of both people. If one person always has to be right or always believes they're right, it is what a toxic poison that is to a relationship. So each person in the relationship should compromise somewhat, give a little, but not thinking of it as I'm going to yield to you. Instead, I'm going to yield to us. I'm going to yield some of my hopes, desires, preferences, my will, not to you, but to us. So each person should be willing to yield and give a little for the sake of the relationship, not over to the other person, because that can create enmity and resentment that's just going to fester. So anytime you need to give a little, you need to bend a little, you need to wiggle a little, think of it as you're not only think of it, do it for the sake of the relationship, the greater whole that the two of you have created together. Not that you're capitulating or yielding to the other person. Okay? I think that those are the main points that I would like to cover today in regards to the prerequisites of loving. And there's probably a few more, but I think that those are very, very adequate and sufficient for now. I hope they've been meaningful to you and that they can enhance in some way your relationship now or next. And thank you again for stopping by Brother Owl's Garden. And always remember to abide in thankfulness for your highest good in the most benevolent outcome of the divine will.